All right, welcome back. We continue right here at 412-575-2600. Get to your calls in a second. But, Chris, another thing I wanted to ask, because I think this is a big moment of the game. We saw on 3rd and 1, the Steelers passed the ball. It was incomplete. On 4th and 1, they do a wheel route with Anthony McFarland, and again, fail there, which gives Washington the opportunity. They convert a 3rd and 4, a big catch, 29 yards by Cam Sims, and then it was a field goal that actually gave them the lead in the win. But 4th and 1, McFarland. That would have been a 45-yard field goal attempt. Matthew Wright was the kicker, not Chris Boswell. Mike Tomlin said he appreciated what he did, but he didn't want to put him in that situation. To me, that is a 45-yard field goal that at the time would give you the lead with 4 minutes and change left. I think that's a big call right there. What do you think about that and why he bypassed it?
Well, I think that he bypassed it deep down because he just wanted to go for it and prove a point. And he trusted his quarterback more to get the first down than he did a kicker who had never played before today to make a 45-yarder. But you know what? If you're going to bring the guy up from, granted, the street, basically, I mean, it's his first NFL game, I still think as a kicker you should expect that guy to make that kick. My big problem with the play call, though, once we get past the fact that you could have kicked that ball for sure if you're Mike Tomlin and given yourself a lead if he makes it, I don't mind the call, the wheel route. I don't necessarily mind the throw that much. I mind Anthony McFarland being the guy that's actually being tasked with turning around, making that play on the football, and sort of catching a ball really that's tough even for seasoned receivers, but I think next to impossible for most running backs, even better pass catchers. What running back in the league makes that play? McCaffrey, Kamara, can you name any other ones that you'd feel confident in? Because I can't.
Maybe Dalvin Cook if he does it, just, guys like that. You're right.
Maybe.
But he's a rookie, and he's been put in that situation. I just think also the quarterback sneak is something that I like. I think it's an effective play, but we never really see it too much, and I know we've talked about that over and over. But let's see what the people have to say. Ellen in Greensburg is first up tonight. Ellen, welcome to the show. Go ahead.
Hi, Bob. How are you? I just wanted to give a shout-out to those Steelers. They have been doing so good, and now everybody wants to cut them down. That's not fair. That's our team.
Nobody's cutting them down. Nobody's cutting them down. We're critiquing a game. And
I understand you're critiquing a game. I'm not just talking about you. I've listened to other things on different, NFL channel and stuff.
Ellen, I was cutting them down when they were 11-0. You can yell at me if it makes you feel any better. I was definitely doing it, and now I'm doing it some more.
No, come on now. We really got a good team this year, and I just want to give a great big shout-out to them. They deserve it.
Well, that's a good fan, Ellen. Thank you for doing that.
Good or great?
But, what I'm saying here is that my point before the break was this bye. I think for the Steelers, the bye is essential for a lot of reasons. Number one, this year, anybody who doesn't have the bye has to play, and that includes a 2-seed. So it happens to be Kansas City, let's say. They have to play 3 games as opposed to 2. You limit your workload. You limit the chance of an injury. You get the rest you need. I think that is essential, which is why I think a loss like this hurts a little bit, Chris.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's essential because your quarterback's 38 years old, because some of your more important players that are still left healthy on that defense are not getting any younger. Joe Hayden, we'll see what's up with him, but he and Cam Hayward are in their 30s. So I think it's crucially important. Also, and I don't necessarily know if I believe this yet because they would have to win some more games, if you get that 1 seed and Kansas City's the 2, do you know who's coming up quickly in the rearview mirror and with a couple losses by other teams might sneak their way back in? Mm-hmm. The Patriots. Do you think anybody wants to see them if they are winning that many games in a row? They'd probably have to win 7 out of 8 or so to get to that point. You think anybody in the AFC wants to see them in their first game? I know I wouldn't.
I know another team that seems to be trending in the right direction is Cleveland with that really good run game they have. Opened up the pass game yesterday, and the Titans, they put a lot of people in the box at times, and they paid the price for that, trying to stop Chubb and Hunt. And the pass game makes it, a little better for Baker Mayfield. So that's a team to watch. They're also 9-3, and that's a big game at the end of the year in Cleveland. Let's go to Mike in Oakland. Mike is always fiery, and I'm wondering if he's fiery tonight. Go ahead, Mike. Mike.
This is RJ, Bob.
Okay, RJ. I thought we were going to Mike in Oakland, but go ahead, RJ. We'll get to Mike next.
Bob, you know your football better than me. I was expecting them to beat Washington tonight. Well, they might lose number 2 Sunday Night Football next Sunday. My other point is I do not like Washington's helmets. In the beginning of the world, did the Indians not go to war killing people with arrows?
Listen, we're not talking about helmets. We're talking about the game. We don't have a lot of time. Let's go out to Mike in Oakland. Mike, go ahead.
Hey, I am fiery, Bob, and I think Ellen's going to hate me after this this discussion. But listen, here's my point. You should listen to Snoop. He was bashing Randy Fichtner, said Tomlin should fire him along with some other choice expletives. But I feel like this. I've told you this for weeks, that we need more of a downfield passing game. And you kind of said, well, we're winning. We don't, Ben's doing great. We don't have a running game as well, and that's the killer. Early in the season, as you guys point out, we were running much better. We could do play action more, and teams weren't used to this. Even bad teams adjust, and the whole league now is adjusted to this offense. It's pathetic. It stinks, and if they don't watch it, we could be losing 3 out of 4. Colts, Bills, and Browns. So
see, that's a point I want to bring up.
Guys.
Thanks, Mike. And Chris, I'll bring it up with you. At the beginning portion of the season, how many 100-yard rushing games individually did they have? I think 5, right? Didn't Connor have 3 and Snell had a couple? And I'm just wondering.
5 straight games.
What happened to that
I can tell
game?
you for sure they had 5 straight. Yeah,
right.
They had 5 straight games as a team where they were well over 100 yards, and then it's gone something like 96, 44, 48, 64. They had 106 last week before this one,
tonight.
And then it was non-existent. Yeah, it was non-existent. I mean, they've stopped trying, and that's where I go back to Matt Canada. It felt like his influence, which when he was at Pitt, it was a power running game. They had a lot of window dressing, but they ran it straight ahead. It feels like his influence has gone further and further away. You know what this offense really seems like right now? And I know nobody wants to hear this because 3 weeks ago, everyone was saying, hey, he's a viable MVP candidate. It seems like Ben Roethlisberger doing what he wants to do pretty much all the time, and everyone's staying out of the way. And guess what? It's not working. Somebody's got to get back to the drawing board in there, whether it's the quarterback himself looking himself in the mirror and say, this isn't enough. There's no variety to it. I'll agree with what Mike just said. Where are the shots downfield that are effective, that keep a defense honest and keep them off these players, these receivers close to the line of scrimmage? Ben Roethlisberger is not accurate enough downfield to do that, and you can see the net effect of it when another team just decides to stop honoring the deep plays and play right up on you.
Right, and if you're not going to do that, then you got to run the ball to give them something to think about. And if you're not going to run the ball, then you make it a little easier on all defensive opponents. And I think that's what we're starting to see, which is why it's important. They've shown they can run the ball. They did it 5 straight games at the beginning of the season, over 100 yards, and now they stopped trying. Let's go to Bruce in McKeesport. Bruce, you're up. What's up?
Hey, guys, big fan of the show. I'm
Thanks.
terribly upset from the game tonight. My whole family is my grandfather actually has COVID, and he isn't doing well, and he put his arm around me in the hospital tonight and said we'll never beat the Chiefs. And I agreed with both him and my Uncle Tom when he said we really need Bell and AB back ASAP because Connor and Juju are sissies just like you, Pompeani.
All right, thanks for your call. We really appreciate that. 412-575-2600. And bottom line is this is a loss, but it does not hurt them in the tie-breaking situation, which I think is important. Chris, as I said before, they can still run the table here and be in pretty good shape because I think they're going to pretty much have to do that. I look at Kansas City, and I know they have New Orleans on their schedule, but Kansas City's the kind of team that, to me, can win all their games. And if that happens, you're going to have to match them. And the thing is, can you match them going to Buffalo with Indianapolis in that game? I keep circling that game at Cleveland at the end of the year. I think that's a big one.
They have 3 teams on the schedule out of these 4 that have ways they can hurt them. Buffalo's got a multi-purpose threat quarterback. Indy's got a great pass defense. And Cleveland, listen, no one wants to hear this because everyone said, oh, they let the Titans back in the game. So did the Steelers after their great first half. Mayfield, if you watched that game yesterday, looked better in the first half against Tennessee than Roethlisberger has for any half of football all year. That was how good he looked. I'm not saying that's what he is, but that's what he can be when they get him in favorable situations. I think they've got to win out. I think that's their best chance because, I don't know, do you see Kansas City really faltering here? New Orleans is the best chance for a team to get them, but I got a feeling Kansas City's going to smell blood here and think that if they go 15-1, that top seed is theirs.
All right, I agree, and I think that's why they got to win these games. And listen, you can learn a lot from a loss sometimes, and a lot of people have been yapping that it's time for a loss to refocus. We'll see. I never did like that. I think you win as many games as you can win. Anyway, it's time for our Tri-State Office Furniture Tweet of the Day, and this comes to us from J.J. Watt, who's a proud brother of T.J. Watt. And he tweeted today, the man leads the NFL in sacks, tackle for losses, pressures, quarterback hits, pass rush, win rate, not second, not third, not fourth, first place, DPOY, Defensive Player of the Year, plain and simple, brotherly love from J.J. Watt. We'll take a break, come back with more calls right here live on Pittsburgh CW.